Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and the latest roundup of wrestling game news, where today we have news of a new patch update for WWE 2K23, we have official details on the free roster additions for 2K23, and then we also have some new previews of next week's Pretty Sweet DLC, including new entrance footage, screenshots and finishes. So let's start with a follow-up to Wednesday's video where I recap Bryan William's interview on the Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast, as Bryan noted during the interview that we were getting some new free roster additions sooner rather than later. As for how soon, less than 24 hours after Bryan's comments, WWE Games revealed a new entrance video for Mia Yim, confirming that she'll be added as a fully playable superstar after the next patch update.
The HBIC
head baddie in charge.
And Mia is always ready for a fight. Mia Yim with impressive performances in the first two Mae Young Classic tournaments.
Yeah, plenty of big match experience in NXT, competing at several NXT TakeOver events.
Ready to jump to that next level with a win here tonight.
Following the reveal of Mia, or Michin, it was expected that we'd also see confirmation of Candice LeRae, as like Mia, she was recently patched in as a hidden model, though it could be that they decide to spread those additions out and maybe hold Candice back, as it makes more sense to drop Mia ahead of the Pretty Sweet DLC, as that pack includes her fellow OC members Gallows and Anderson, who data miners confirmed to set as Mia's managers alongside AJ Styles. As for when the new patch will be released, according to the Steam database, it's currently in the process of being tested before a public rollout, which will most likely come on Monday to prepare for the DLC. Now, before we move on to the new DLC previews, speaking of patches, Thursday seen a surprise patch update for WWE 2K23 as 2K rolled out a new patch that took the game from version 1.20 to 1.21. As for what was changed, when asked for comment, a 2K representative noted that there were no gameplay or content changes in the patch, instead revealing that it was more of a maintenance update. Despite those comments, I did see one user reporting on Twitter that the unfinished Sasha Banks model has been updated to include hair, as originally that model was planned as part of a 4 Horsewomen pack in my faction, though following Sasha's exit from WWE, I don't believe the model was ever completed as it was left out of the pack once it eventually went live. I did boot up 2K22 to check the Sasha model and it did have hair, though I don't know if this had already been added in a previous update or if the change was made in the new patch, but if you've come across anything that you've noticed is different, then please do let me know about it in the comments. Next up, let's talk DLC for WWE 2K23, as next week sees the release of this year's second DLC pack, as the Pretty Sweet DLC is set to release on Tuesday, May 17th. Ahead of the release, the WWE Games Twitter account have released some new previews, with the first of the footage revealing the tag team entrance for Pretty Deadly.
Britain's most beautiful import sent to us in a pair. Yes, boy!
Proof that looks can be deceiving.
Oh, come on, Cole. Don't judge a book by its gorgeous cover. You try, Cole. Yes, boy! Come on, Cole. Please?
Don't say it, Michael. Don't say it.
How kind of them, allowing the WWE Universe to bask in their wonderfulness.
Well, I have to admit, they're as dangerous as they are flamboyant. Pretty much like their name says.
So that's the first look at Pretty Deadly's Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. However, they weren't the only ones to be shown off, as prior to SmackDown last night, WWE Games went on to reveal the OC, though rather than revealing their tag team entrance, they actually revealed a brand new trio entrance featuring Gallows and Anderson alongside AJ Styles.
Hey, I played word association with Anderson Gallows earlier today. I said Byron Saxton, you know what they said?
Let me guess, I got this. Nerd! Gallows and Anderson have been a top tag team for years, but have somehow become even more too sweet thanks to their affiliation with AJ Styles.
More like too desperate. These guys were never ones to obey the rules, but they've become even more underhanded as of late.
From watching the new trio's entrance, there's a good chance that we'll see a similar motion used for the OC's tag team entrance, as I think you could easily remove AJ Styles from this motion to create a two-man entrance, so it'll be interesting to see if that's what they did. On the subject of styles, I think this footage shows just how big a change there's been in the quality of the models, as AJ's model hasn't been updated for a couple of years now, and because of that you can see a huge difference in the quality between his model and the new models for Gallows and Anderson, so hopefully AJ is someone that gets a big update next year to bring him to the same level. Moving on to the final member of the Pretty Sweet pack, we have NXT's Tiffany Startton, though unlike the other stars, WWE Games haven't released an entrance for Tiffany, though they did release this new screenshot confirming that she'll feature the attire she wore for her Lights Out match with Wendy Chu in August of last year. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about this attire, as prior to the reveal, data miners revealed Tiffany's render, which showed her wearing the same outfit, but with her hair in braids, as that was the hairstyle that she had for this particular match, though thankfully the developers did opt to include Tiffany's regular hairstyle, so creators can now update her attire and not be stuck with using braids. Following up the screenshot, the WWE Games Twitter account did share a video of Tiffany in action as they released this new preview of her finisher, which is a corner springboard into a twisting splash, which I could be wrong, but I think she calls it the Tiffy Twisted. Feedback on the video has been somewhat mixed, as the animation is quite choppy due to the frame rate of the video, though most people's concerns come in regards to the hair physics, as there doesn't seem to be too much movement on Tiffany's hair, though this could be due to the finisher footage being taken from an earlier version of the game, as the finisher footage shows Tiffany without any makeup, while the entrance screenshot shows her model updated, so it's likely that the hair issue may already be fixed. Speaking of hair, jumping back to Pretty Deadly's entrance, you might have noticed Elton Prince's hair doing some pretty wild things, as it seems to take on a life of its own, though this seems to be down to the wind machine that they use in their entrance, as the developers look to have recreated that in 2K23. For anyone that missed the video I posted on Wednesday, which featured a recap of Bryan William's interview on the Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast, Bryan mentioned how they're trying to include a lot more content in this year's DLC so that it can give players more for their money, with Bryan specifically mentioning that they're trying to include a lot more DLC moves, as Bryan confirmed that there were 39 new moves in the first DLC pack, with 52 planned for next month's DLC 3. As for next week's DLC 2 though, Bryan was cut off before he could share the number of moves that are featured in that pack. However, the WWE Games account have confirmed that DLC 2 will feature 25 plus new moves. So that's a preview of next week's Pretty Sweet DLC, but keep an eye on the WWE Games Twitter account over the weekend, as we'll likely see Tiffany's entrance released next, as well as some new finisher previews. Then check back on Monday, as I'll be running through all the changes and the new additions in the new patch update, followed by full coverage of the Pretty Sweet DLC on Tuesday. Until then though, thank you so much for watching this video, have yourself an awesome day, and I'll catch you later.